Criou a transmissão. E aí, gente, beleza? Casou aqui. E bem-vindos a um vídeo. Caras. Ai, tá terrível. Peraí. Ai, meu pescoço. Tá, o que eu vou fazer agora? Eu vou estudar Swift. E tem um vídeo de Harvard aqui, mano. Já era pra eu ter compartilhado. Peraí. Que eu não faço ideia. Esse aqui é o meu canal. Meu pescoço tá doendo. Programa assim, mano. Deixa eu ver como é que tá. Beleza. Estamos sozinhos agora. Vamos lá. Eu tô abaixando o BS. Deixa eu ver como é que eu tô. Tô bem. Tô bem cansado, mano. Tô vendo o vídeo aqui. Então, pra começar, bem, eu vou mandar o link daqui. Eu não sei onde é que tá o quebra bagulho, né? Eu preciso quebrar bagulho. Quebrei bagulho. Quebrei não. Quebrei não. Ou será que eu quebrei, mano? Ah, galera, eu não sei, mano. Vocês não conseguem ver a barra de tarefa. Ah, isso mesmo. Pera aí. Deixa eu pegar aqui. Pegar até aqui, cara. Acho que eu vou ter que fazer assim. Daqui. É. É assim, ó. Tá bom aqui. E eu vou deixar... É, aqui, não tô atrapalhando. Até fico mais no canto aqui. Tá bom. O foco não sou eu. O foco é essa programação aqui que eu não faço ideia. Beleza. Queria mandar o link aqui, ó. Peraí. Programação aqui que eu não faço ideia. Beleza. Deixa eu anotar. Pronto. Agora eu não tô escutando nada. Esse aqui é o link do vídeo do Swift. Eu tava vendo o vídeo desse cara. O vídeo desse cara, que são meus vídeos. Tá, agora eu vou assistir aqui.
So we're going to get ourselves started.
Bom, para começar, temos que baixar o Xcode. Como é que faz isso? O vídeo que eu vi do cara, você vai, aperta aqui. Aí, se você tem netbook, você vai pesquisar Xcode aqui. Beleza. Aí vai estar aqui, instalar. Aí você instala essa ferramenta aqui. Beleza? E vou continuar vendo agora o vídeo. Vou até abrir aqui só pra ver como é que é. Mas beleza, vamos continuar vendo o vídeo agora.
By just building some of it, a little bit of it. And so in this simulator, I have a version of Memorize right here that is going to be what we're going to build in today's lectures or this week's lectures. And you can see it has the cards, and I can tap on them, and they do flip over, although they don't animate, and obviously there's no timer there. Also, if I flip over all the cards, you'll notice that no two cards are the same. So these are all 12 completely different cards. So we can't play the matching game because we have no matching cards. And in general, the whole logic of playing a matching game, we're going to do that next week. So what we're doing this week is just trying to start building our UI.
Beleza, coloquei assim aqui, aceitei. iOS é só isso que eu quero, mano. Mac e Watch. Não, Watch não. Por enquanto. Tá instalando aqui.
Might have it look like this. Now, obviously, we're not doing any of this sophisticated UI over there. We're just trying to get our cards up here. We are going to put a couple of things down here that aren't in our final version, like this plus button, which adds a card, adds more cards. And also, our UI is going to scroll because we can hit so many pluses here that the cards don't fit anymore. Whereas over here, that's not true. By the way, that's really noticeable. If we take this and rotate it, this button here will rotate to landscape mode, and the cards kind of resize themselves a little bit so that they fit the space more perfectly. In our version, when we rotate, it still works, but we have to be scrolling because we can't fit all the cards. Our cards are kind of a fixed size right here. I was originally going to have you do a shuffle button down here in your homework that would shuffle the cards around, but I actually decided to have you do something a little more ambitious, which is to shuffle the cards, but also provide a very, very simple theme chooser. Now, nothing like the theme chooser we saw on the left here, but just something that lets you use what we're learning this week. Also, you probably noticed that that shuffle is doing a little bit of animation, but I decided to put that off now as well, so you won't have to do animation for the shuffle buttons in your homework, and we're going to talk all about animation in a couple of weeks. So the tool we use to build all this is called Xcode. It is one-stop shopping for doing all of this stuff, whether it's editing your code, running it, seeing the UI as you build it, debugging it, etc., all in one place. So let's talk briefly here about how we get a hold of an Xcode. Okay, we need Xcode. And since it's a Mac app, of course, we can go to the Mac App Store. If you go to the Mac App Store and go to the search bar and just type in Xcode, then you'll get the top match here will be this Xcode. And if you click on it, this is going to say download. Just click on that and you're up and running. It's a free app, costs nothing. And you can join a developer program with Apple, $99 a year, and I'll talk about in a moment what you get for that, but it's not required for this class. Nothing that you do in this class, this app that we're building over here, none of that requires any developer joining the developer program at Apple, so it's free. So everything's free. Now, if you're a little bit bold and adventuresome and you want to try the beta version of Xcode, which of course they're always coming out with betas every few weeks, you're certainly welcome to do that. I'll show you briefly how to do that. Just bring up your Safari, go to developer.apple.com. And in fact, we can go directly developer.apple.com/downloads, probably the fastest way to get there. And you can see there's beta software downloads, both of Mac OS and iOS, but also under applications here, you're going to see Xcode 12.5 beta 3. And this is, again, going to update over time. You just click download and you can run it. Now, nothing I do in this course is going to require this beta, so you're perfectly fine if you just want to do the version off the App Store. Maybe start off with that one, and as you get more confident and you just want to kind of be on the bleeding edge of things, feel free to switch over to the beta if you want. Once we get Xcode on our machine, we launch it just by clicking on it. I happen to be running the beta version here. And when we do, we get this splash screen. Okay, beta or normal, you're always going to get this splash screen. Very simple starting point in Xcode. On the right over here, we have all of our recent projects, things we've been working on will be stored here. And then on the left, we just have 3 options for starting a new project or finding an existing project that's not in this list, which is pretty rare. All of the projects we work on are kept in here reliably, so this is usually how we open that. There's 2 ways really to create a brand new project. One is to just create it here. That's what this first one is. The second one is to clone a project that is in a source code repository somewhere. I am going to talk a little bit about source code control and repositories later in the quarter. But for now, we're just going to obviously be creating our very first project ever by clicking this create a new project. This open project or file down here, not going to really have to do that. Those things will all be over here. All right, so click create a new Xcode project. It immediately says, okay, well, what kind of project do you want to create? Because Xcode can build not only iOS apps, which is what we're clearly building here, but also macOS apps, Apple Watch apps, Apple TV apps, even multi-platform apps that run both on macOS and on iOS. We will be doing that for the second big app that we build later in the quarter. But today we're going to do iOS apps. Even within iOS, there are different kinds of apps here. And most of the time, we're going to do this just basic app. But later in the quarter, we're going to make a document app. And there are other kinds here. So you might explore some of these for your final project or whatever. But we're going to do iOS app. Just click here and here. Make sure you do that when you're building your app. By the way, here's where you might want to pause and go get Xcode if you want to follow along. If you do, be sure to click iOS and then app before you click next. Now when you
Beleza, entendemos. Deixa eu sair lá. Ó, essa é minha irmã. Ó. Gente, Ana, você tá na live.
Para. Nossa, que susto.
Mas tá mesmo.
Quem?
Tá gravando.
Cadê?
Eu tô fazendo live de programação, que nem aquele cara.
Pera, Gustavo, sério. Imagina se eu tô pelada, você tá louco? Não! Não!
Gente, essa é minha irmã. Mas não fala essas coisas, mano.
Deixa eu ver.
Nós somos budistas. Entra aí no meu canal.
Deixa eu ver.
Ok.
Você é mentiroso. Para de ser
Entra
mentiroso.
no meu canal aí. Entra aí.
Eu tenho que entrar no seu negócio.
Não, é só entrar no canal. É, vai no meu Instagram e tem os botõezinhos lá.
Eu sei, Gustavo. O que você acha que eu faço?
Não, não pensei não. YouTube, Ana. Não tem YouTube? Pera aí, gente, que tá fazendo um negócio importante.
Ai, que... Ai... Pode tirar.
Tempo real.
Pode tirar.
Não, tô gravando. Eu tô ensinando eles a programar no macOS. Mas não vai ter ninguém, tá? macOS. Quer falar um oi? Quer que eu mostre? Não falou comentário pro pessoal do canal. Fala aí. Ana, fala aí. Fala aí, Ana. Não tenho ninguém. Eu só tenho isso. Mas tá de noite, gente. Ninguém tá arrumado nessa hora, pelo amor de Deus. Tá todo mundo dormindo. Não vamos apagar nada. Aqui é absoluta. Então, continua falando aqui. Tá bom, gente. Vamos fazer o segundo round da live, que eu já expliquei tudo que eu tinha. É que eu saí de lá porque a mãe tava roncando. A pessoa tava escutando. Mas é que eu tava estudando. Mas agora... Tchau, galera. Eu vou explicar tudo de novo.